Ever wondered why Canadians don't get brain freeze? Because it's always winter. Now, that's not entirely true, but it does paint a vivid picture of Canada's famed chilly climate. It's this very cold weather that gives Canada its unique charm, from snow-dusted landscapes to ice hockey matches. But Canada is more than just a winter wonderland. It's a nation rich in culture, history, and yes, a whole lot of quirks. Well, let's dive into more cool facts about Canada, shall we? Did you know Canada is the world's largest moose farm? And no, they don't use them for hockey practice. Imagine this, a country so vast and wild, it's home to the largest population of moose on the planet. Yes, we're talking about Canada, where these majestic creatures roam freely. And no, they're not on the ice practicing their slap shots. But don't be surprised if you see a Canadian trying to teach a moose to play hockey. That's just how hockey-obsessed this nation is. Speaking of obsessions, Canadians love their hockey as much as they love their Tim Hortons. From frozen ponds to professional arenas, the sound of a puck hitting the back of a net is as Canadian as maple syrup. It's a sport that brings communities together, a sport that's woven into the very fabric of Canadian culture. So if you're ever in Canada during hockey season, make sure to catch a game. You'll experience the electrifying atmosphere, the camaraderie, and the sheer passion that Canadians have for their beloved sport. But Canada is not just about moose and hockey. It also boasts the world's largest collection of Inuit art. This isn't just art. It's a testament to the resilience, creativity, and profound spiritual beliefs of the Inuit people. Each piece tells a story of survival, a story of a culture that's thrived in one of the harshest environments on Earth. So, while you're in Canada, take some time to appreciate this unique art form. You'll be amazed at the depth and complexity of these works, and you'll gain a deeper understanding of the rich cultural tapestry that makes Canada so unique. So, next time you're in Canada, don't forget to pet a moose, catch a hockey game, and appreciate some Inuit art. You know why Canadians are so smart? Because they feed their brains with poutine. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is poutine? Well, it's a culinary masterpiece from our friends up north, a dish that is as unique as the country itself. Picture this, a mountain of crispy French fries smothered in a rich gravy and topped with squeaky cheese curds. Sounds like a dream, right? But let's step back for a moment and talk about why Canadians are known for their smarts. Canada takes pride in having one of the highest education levels in the world. In fact, more than half of its residents have college degrees. That's right, you heard it here first. Folks, Canadians are not just about hockey and maple syrup. They are a nation of brainiacs. Now, how does poutine fit into all of this? Well, think about it. After a long day of studying or working, what could be better than diving into a plate full of comfort food? Poutine is the ultimate brain food, the perfect blend of carbs, fats, and proteins to fuel those late-night study sessions or power you through a tough workday. And it's not just for the scholars and the workers. Poutine has become a symbol of Canadian culture, enjoyed by everyone from students to prime ministers. It's a dish that brings people together, a common thread that ties the diverse Canadian population. So next time you're pulling an all-nighter, consider swapping out your usual snack for a plate of poutine. Who knows? It might just be the secret ingredient to unlocking your brain's full potential, but remember, poutine is not just a dish, it's a way of life. And that, my friends, is the secret behind Canada's intellectual prowess. A nation of educated individuals fueled by a dish that is as hearty as it is delicious. So let's raise our forks to Canada, a country that knows the value of a good education and a great plate of food. Remember, if you want to be smart like a Canadian, don't forget to have your daily dose of poutine. Did you know Canada was discovered by a Viking who was actually looking for a basketball court? Well, not quite. But it makes for an amusing thought, doesn't it? Let's dive into the tale of the Viking and the hoops. It begins with the legendary Leif Erikson, a Norse explorer who, unlike our basketball-seeking Viking friend, was more interested in new lands than a game of hoops. Now, Leif Erikson wasn't the first to settle in Canada, but he was the first known European to have set foot on North American soil around the year 1000, almost 500 years before Christopher Columbus set sail. Imagine all this time we could have been saying, Leif Erikson discovered America, but I guess it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as smoothly. Fast forward to the late 19th century, and we have another monumental event, the invention of basketball. Yes, you heard it right, basketball was born in Canada, not the USA, as many might assume. The game was invented by Dr. James Naismith, a Canadian educator, physician, and sports innovator. He was trying to create a new game to keep his students active during the winter while causing less injuries than American football. And voila, basketball was born. In a way, both Leif Erikson and Dr. James Naismith were pioneers, Erikson in exploration and Naismith in sports. And both have ties to the great country of Canada. Isn't it fascinating how history weaves its stories? So, whether you're a Viking descendant with a love for the open sea, or a basketball enthusiast who appreciates the beauty of a perfect slam dunk, you've got a reason to love Canada. It's a place where history and sport collide, where the old world meets the new, and where a Viking might just find his basketball court after all. So, if you're a Viking or a basketball fan, Canada is definitely your place. Alright, let's recap some of the most surprising, or should I say, amusing facts about Canada. So it turns out, Canada is the world's icebreaker. And by that, we don't mean the conversation starters at parties. We're talking about the actual gigantic ships that break through frozen waters. That's right, Canada is the proud owner of the world's largest fleet of icebreakers. Now, isn't that cool? Next up, we learned that Canada has an obsession with three things: moose, hockey, and Inuit art. With the largest moose population in the world, it's no wonder they've got a soft spot for these majestic creatures. And hockey? Well, that's practically a religion. As for Inuit art, Canada boasts the world's largest collection. Talk about a cultural hat trick. But it's not just about art and sports. Canadians are also brainiacs. Did you know that they have one of the highest rates of tertiary education in the world? Clearly they've got their thinking caps on. And when they're not hitting the books or the ice, they're indulging in poutine. Yes, that deliciously messy dish of fries, cheese curds, and gravy. It's a culinary masterpiece if you ask me. Lastly, we discovered that Canada has a fascinating history with some unexpected twists. From the arrival of Viking Leif Erikson centuries before Columbus to the invention of basketball, Canada's historical timeline is anything but boring. So there you have it, folks. Canada, the land of smart, poutine-eating, hockey-loving Vikings with a soft spot for moose and Inuit art. Who knew, eh? Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.